Alright, bros, we're live.
Oh, we are? We're
Yep.
live?
What's up, people?
Okay, yeah, it is recorded.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
You want me to throw the link?
Sure. So that's going, and there's going. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely.
And just like that, boys, we're live.
All right.
How we doing?
Doing all right. How is everyone?
Good,
Get in
good.
there.
Rainy day today.
Thankfully, on the Bros Gone Wild podcast, we have special guest Tim Kohlstedt joining, and our main topic is military.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
I
dude.
feel honored, honestly.
Absolutely, it'll be
Yeah,
fun.
It's cool.
Yeah. So first, we just have a quick poll that we're going to discuss before we get started.
Yeah.
And Dayton's got that poll right now.
Yeah, so would you rather be a part of the, and then we had 4 options, Army, Marines, Navy, or Air Force? Marines was leading with 37%, then Air Force 31, Navy 20, Army 12.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough to hear.
Yeah.
How many people voted?
48.
Okay.
48.
All right.
It's a pretty good
Not
spread.
bad.
What are you in?
I'm in the Army National Guard.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I was technically Michigan National Guard, but they call it because I went to basic training where regular Army people go, active Army people go, and I basically answer to the governor of the state of Michigan, and then the president. But I'm part of like a quick reaction force, and basically that's like if there was a riot in Detroit or a natural disaster like a hurricane hit Michigan, like I would get.
They need you big
Oh,
time.
wow.
Really?
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
That's cool.
So there's a chance you could get called in if something were to happen today.
You're almost
Oh.
kind of on call.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
I was
wow.
ready.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's
so,
cool.
And like I can be deployed at any time. We're on a deployment cycle right now. We're actually kind of slated to deploy. It's not really a deployment. We're going to Latvia in May for 2 weeks to train with the Latvian forces. It's going to be part of Operation Saber
Holy
Strike.
cow.
Jeez.
That's
Yeah.
Is that going to be intense?
Oh yeah, it'll be like we'll have live ammunition when we train.
You
like-
excited?
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped, dude.
Is this gonna be your first time going like out of the country?
To Europe, yeah. I've been like to the Bahamas before. That's like pretty much the only time I left the country, though. But
That's
yeah,
sweet.
it is. I'm excited, dude. Whole new country, whole new languages.
And
like-
so it's 2 weeks of training.
Yeah.
So you're just and you're training with the guys that have already been there for a while, or
I'm training with Latvian soldiers,
Latvian
like
soldiers as
NATO
well.
forces.
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, you guys know what NATO is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like soldiers from around
Dude.
the world.
That is intense.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we're gonna trade patches and everything.
How soon are you doing that again?
I leave end of May, get back middle of May or middle of June.
Wow.
So.
Sweet.
What's
Yeah.
it like? So what's Latvia like? Is it going to be desert, hot, or
Oh.
I'm not familiar. Do you know what you're going into as far as terrain?
It's kind of like I think it's kind of mountainous. I haven't really
Okay.
done much research. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I kind of like I'm 11 Bravo infantry. That's like my MOS, my job in the military. So I'm kind of like I'm there so they can just send me anywhere they want, whenever they want. Like
Wow.
if it's gonna be cold, I need to be ready for the cold. If it's gonna be
Shit.
desert, I need to be ready for that. Like so.
Dang.
And it's a lot of fun. I'm excited for it.
So how long have you been kind of involved in all these works? Did it start freshman year of college? Did it?
I mean, I've known that I wanted to do this since I was in first grade.
Really?
And yeah, it was there was a thing. It was like all about first grade me. This is the proof that I tell people. So this poster I made when I was in first grade is like all about first grade me, like favorite food, favorite color, favorite animal, like all this. And then it asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I like horribly wrote a soldier, and I like misspelled soldier. Like, I was so young.
word
And,
sometimes,
yeah,
I
it's a
feel
big
that.
word. And it's just something I wanted to do. And when I was in high school, my high school didn't have like a ROTC program, and I just kind of was like, you know what?
Didn't like Orion.
Yeah, it's
Didn't like
like
going.
But I was kind of like, well, I definitely want to join the military, and I was kind of telling myself like, oh, maybe join right after high school, go in active duty. This is the only thing you can see yourself doing. And my dad talked me out of it, and told me to apply to Central.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied here, and I was like, all right, I'll do the ROTC program here. So I got involved with that, and I realized it was like fake training almost. It was just kind of
Oh, really?
So
yeah, it was
what exactly is ROTC?
It's Reserve Officer Training Corps, and like the Finch Fieldhouse on campus. They all meet there, and it's a good program. Don't get me wrong. Like everybody in there is really respectable. I just wanted to do like the real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
More hands-on.
Right,
real.
more hands-on,
This
like
was way
live
too slow
ammunition,
in a
like like real stuff. Like I wanted to experience it. If I was gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
The real deal.
yeah, and the National Guard recruiter for the CMU campus was there, Sergeant Freeze, and he comes up to me after like ROTC class one day, and he's like, I overheard you talking about this, like saying you want to do real stuff. He's like, if you want to do real Army shit, come talk to me. And he just walked away, and I was like,
Sorry.
yeah, I can do that. I want to do that. Like, screw it. So the next day, I was in his office, and I was like, what do I need to do? And we started, that very long process of like, getting all your stuff together. Like, I didn't even know my social security number, and you need that for everything in the military. Like,
Wow.
So weird. Had to get a lot of paperwork done. Went to MEPS, which is like the military entrance processing screening or whatever, and that was just like 2-3 days of just like long lines and just like and it was a preview of what the military was going to be like. I had no idea the military was like. And there's a saying, it's called "hurry up and wait." Like so.
Right.
And so this happened when exactly? Was this sophomore year? Was this freshman year?
Freshman year of college.
Okay.
So,
And then you switched over to doing this program with Sergeant Freeze.
I decided to.
And so that was, but you're still doing school on the side with that.
Well, yeah. So like, if you're talking about like when I leave for basic training, is that what you're gonna?
Kind of. I'm just trying to understand that transfer process because you were doing ROTC and then you switched over.
Oh, I just dropped ROTC class. I just dropped it.
So that's a course.
Yeah, it's just a course here.
You don't one course, a set of courses.
Might be
what
like
exactly?
4 credits or.
It's like it's a minor.
It's a minor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
there's multiple courses you take towards our.
It's a military science.
That's what I was a little
Okay.
confused. Okay.
Yeah, minor that you can get, and it's like 4 levels through your 4 years. It's like MSL, Military Science Learning 1. That's when you're a freshman, 2,
Gotcha.
sophomore, and so on. And I was in the level 1 class. I didn't contract with them because you can like contract with ROTC. That says like, if you graduate from here, we'll pay for your college,
Gotcha.
and you got to give us
Gotcha.
4 years as an officer after.
Totally.
So, so that's I wasn't contracted, so there was nothing there, and I was just kind of like going to class. You know what I mean?
Not
Like I
necessarily
didn't have to
in
go.
it.
Yeah, I wasn't really in it. I was just going to the class. Like I didn't have to go to the workouts at like 6 a.m. during the weekdays, and like I wouldn't have to do anything like that.
Yeah.
But if I was contracted, I would.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so, are you contracted yet into what you're doing now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I enlisted November 12th, 2015.
Nice.
And that summer, in 2016, I went to basic training down in Fort Benning, Georgia,
Okay.
and that was a hot summer, dude.
Jeez.
That
Oh
was-
my.
yeah, that was-
And how long was basic training for?
it was about 15 weeks.
Okay.
What's that?
So it's your
What's
whole
that
summer.
like?
Real deal.
The real deal, man.
Yeah.
That was like, man, I'll never forget like the first day of like actual, because like you get off the bus, right, from like your plane ride. And
Oh, just getting there.
Just getting to Georgia, yeah. You
just
get off
right.
the plane. You get off the plane, and then you hop on a bus, and they take you to the base, and like there's like an amnesty room where they're like, if you have anything unauthorized that you're not allowed to bring, like tobacco or drugs or anything, like just drop it in the amnesty box. So you do that, and then you go through and you get your uniforms and all this. This takes about a week before you even get to like your real basic training. So it takes like a week. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. It takes a week to get
Gosh.
like to your actual unit, but once you're there, I'll never forget like the first day we're running around like chickens with our head cut off. Like we were on the buses, and like the drill sergeant gets up and he's like, boys, welcome to Delta Company. Now get off my fucking bus! Like, we're just like, oh shit! And like, no, what the fuck? fuck's going on? Like, everybody's pushing and shoving each other and, like...
Chaos.
Yeah, dude. And we get off the bus and, like, we line up and, like, they're all screaming at us, like, having to hold our fucking bags over our head and drop and do that, do push-ups. And we have, like, a whole, like, there's, like, that's just one of our bags. Our other bags are all, like, in a pile together, like, across the road. And they're like, run and go grab your bags. So, like, nobody knows each other's name. And, like, everybody's on, like, piling it. And, like, they're all taped together. So you gotta rip the tape off. And, like, they gave us, like, a minute to do it. And... I remember, like, running around, and this one drill sergeant's like, "Dear Mom and Dad, I fucked up." Like, and I was just like, "Oh my God, dude, did I?" Like, this is what I wanted. And then I'm, like, looking this way. I'm, like, looking, like, the opposite way of where I'm running. And all of a sudden, I just run into something, and I look up. And it's a fucking drill sergeant. And I could just see the flames going off in his eyes. And I knew there was too many of us around. And I just ran into the fucking crowd. Like, I did not stick around for that.
So it started straight away. It was guns blazing from the second it started.
Yeah, oh yeah. From the second, and then, yeah, pretty much.
And so basic training, you're learning the basics of whatever you're going to be doing. So did you start with weapons? You start with any sort of fighting and then workouts? And how does that basically... What's the run? And you're just learning, or?
Well, it starts off like the very thing, basically like basic training is just for you to basically like learn the basics of being a soldier, like how to move under fire and all this stuff.
Okay, totally.
And then you have AIT after basic training. That's like tacked on to you being at basic training. Mm-hmm. That's when you like your MOS specialty like really kicks in, like where you like say you were a chef. Say you were a chef, and like the past 14 or the past 9 weeks you were at basic training to learn to be a soldier, and then now you're finally going to chef school.
Oh,
gotcha.
Okay.
So, but
you break off kind of after the basic stuff.
Right, after the basic stuff.
Everybody.
Yeah, so basically you just learn how to like march and drill and how to handle a weapon, and then they move on to like reading a map or reading a compass, land navigation, and like combat life-saving techniques, and then.
Yo, are you doing anything in a pool or in water? Are they teaching you how?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, what kind of stuff are you doing there? What was something crazy you did in like a pool or?
We had this like leadership reaction course, and it was like over like water, and I remember this had to have been like the first week we were there, and it was like full water. Nobody wanted to get wet, and this one kid fell in, and I'm like laughing at the kid, and all of a sudden I hear this drill sergeant like, "Hey, you jump in too!" And I'm like, damn. I had to jump in, get my boots wet and shit.
Dang. So,
yeah.
And you're living in bunk beds with all these different kids? And...
Yeah, you're living in a bay with like 40 other guys in bunk beds. And like each person, like, so like the first person sleeps like this, and then the second person on that bunk will sleep like this, and then it's flip-flopped.
So it's parallel.
Is there a reason for that?
No, it's just like uniform. It's just like they just want everything to be dress.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basic training was fun though.
Yeah, it was
overall.
a lot. Yeah, overall, I mean, when I look, they always said like, "Man, you're gonna get out of here, and you're gonna look back, and you're gonna think, this was the funnest shit of my life."
I bet, dude. You're there for 15 weeks with a bunch of guys.
And those guys, they become your complete strangers, and then at the end, like you're crying because you don't want to like leave them. You know what I mean? Like, and I just remember like. They would tell us that. They always tell us, "You guys are going to miss this." And I'd be like, "Who the hell is saying that?" And here I am, like, talking about it a year later. Like, fuck, I wish I could go back, you know? Yeah. And that was the best summer. I call it a summer internship. Yeah. That was a fun summer.
And 16 weeks or 15 weeks or whatever.
15 weeks. And I threw grenades and...
Oh, wow.
And, like, I fired machine guns. And I carried a machine gun.
Oh, my gosh.
I was a 240 gunner at basic.
Damn.
So...
Damn.
And, like, usually, like it was weird that I was, like, a 240 gunner because they usually give it to, like, the stocky short guys because, like, they're more boxy. Like, they can, like, carry it. And my neighbor, who's, like, a Army paratrooper served in Vietnam, told me never volunteer for anything. Like when they ask for volunteers, raise your hand. So they're like, "Yo, I need 6," and I'm like, and then I walked into the armory and this sergeant is sitting there and he just hands me a 240 and he's like, "Sign your name here." I'm like, "Fuck." It's 30 pounds, dude.
Oh,
like,
man.
you know, you gotta carry that. Like, the average M4 is 7 pounds, 8 pounds per magazine. Like, man, the ruck marches sucked with it.
How long are your marches with that thing?
Well, so we started off 2 miles, 4 miles, 6 miles, 8 miles, 10 miles,
Oh my gosh.
and then a 12-miler. We did 2 10 miles and then a 12-miler.
That's all day. It's got to be all day.
No,
isn't it? No,
dude, it's like we left off the 12-mile one. Took us through 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Holy cow.
And we're walking up field or up hills, and like they
you
call.
guys are moving.
It's pretty efficient.
We're pretty moving, and we only took breaks like 3 or 4 times for 10 minutes. But we stepped off at like 3 in the morning, or not 3 in the morning, like 4:30 in the morning, and the sun was coming up when we were walking in.
You're doing this in the middle of the night.
Pretty much.
12-mile march.
Yeah, like because it was gonna be super hot. It's super hot during the day, so they have to do it in the morning where it's cooler. But dude, like at the end, we're taking off all our shit, and it looks like everybody is just jumped into a pool.
Oh,
Because like even though it was like cool out,
it's not that cool
not
still.
that cool.
And how much shit are you carrying with these marches? Is it that much?
like 50, 60 pounds.
So yeah,
That's no joke.
Like, it's I mean like it could it's like supposed to we're supposed to be able to like hump, they call it hump. You know, we're supposed to hump like 80 pounds on our back, like if we need to.
Dang.
Yeah, it was. I mean, but honestly, those ruck marches I looked forward to because like you're not supposed to talk and it's really quiet, and I just kind of like,
you reflected.
Yeah, I reflected a lot.
Peaceful almost.
Yeah.
I can see how
It's
you
repetition.
like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so you're not always just grinding, doing hikes. How do you like to spend your free time while you're there?
The free time we did get, it would be
If it was, yeah.
yeah, if it was like so. All right, so I'm not after the first 3 weeks. Like the drill sergeants will like start to go home and they'll only leave one drill sergeant there, and if that drill sergeant's like not in your platoon, you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want. You just gotta be careful.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I'd spend my time like cleaning my weapon, bullshitting. But by cleaning my weapon, it'd be like as I talk to someone, and it would just be me cleaning the same part for like 2 hours. Or you do laundry, or you write letters, or practice. You know.
That's true.
Like, but they didn't have books. Like, there wasn't like books. I remember like at 30th AG, which is like the first week you get there, you get everything.
Sure.
You guys ever see Zoolander?
Mm-hmm.
They had a section, like a small library called Zoolander's books for warriors who can't read well, or some shit like that. It was funny.
That's great.
No, like when you get there though, you're not allowed to have any like fictional books or like nonfiction. Like it's supposed to only be like training manuals and shit like that. So
Damn.
Dang.
yeah.
Huh.
So I have a question for you. My mom is remarried, but her old husband was in the National Guard, and he had to do these drills every month or two.
That's what I do.
Do you do that?
Yeah,
so
that's
is
what I
that
do.
is that what you're required to leave every month or
Is it
month
one
and a half?
Saturday a month?
One weekend a month.
1 weekend a month? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you go somewhere like out of state, or is it in Michigan?
It's in Michigan. It's like 45 minutes away in Big Rapids.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, dude, and like I just get up like an hour and 30 before I have to be there. And so basically how the Army works, it's like the commander says be there by 7, and your lieutenant says be there by 7 or be there by 6:45. Your platoon sergeant says be there by 6:30. Your squad leader says be there by 6:25 or 6:20. You know what I mean? Like,
You gotta be there early as hell.
Yeah, you gotta be there super early. That's what it says. Hurry up and wait.
funny.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's great.
yeah, so I just usually get up like an hour and 30 before I have to be there and drive down there. I can speed because I'm in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Cops are just gotta
Oh, yeah,
give you a
yeah.
slap on the wrist for it. Like,
Totally. And you get there, is it just 2 days of workouts and refreshing and then boom?
It's training, dude.
Training?
Yeah, go out to the ranges, you know, get some gun time or some range time in, and then I shouldn't say gun. It's not a gun. It's a rifle or a weapon. You know what I mean? For all the listeners. Yeah. No, it's a good time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have any? So you've been doing this for I don't know about 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
What is kind of this following step? What are you moving towards after 4 years is up, 5 years is up, whatever? How does the transition work?
I don't plan on I mean, the only transition I plan on doing is after my Is it okay if I do this?
Yeah.
No,
not at all. You're fine. No, you're fine.
But the only transitioning like that I plan on doing is I want to go active duty.
Okay.
Like I want to take it, and I want to be a paratrooper. Like I watch those videos, and it just looks so sweet. Like what's not cool about jumping out of a plane? You know what I mean? Like with a gun strapped to your like, or your a weapon strapped to your leg. I don't know how they do it, but
I don't think I'm ever gonna call it a gun ever. Now.
I mean, like, what do you guys think about the military? What's your guys' views on it? Like,
well, I'm very thankful for people like you, man.
It's
like awesome. That's my view. Is
thank you.
It's something I just am very thankful that we have people who volunteer to do. That's like the best way I can put it.
No, absolutely.
It's just very.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do it for that though. I just did it because like, I just felt like I needed to, and like it just looked fun. You know what I mean? Like slipping out in the woods. Like I didn't get that enough as a child. Like that outdoors experience, and I think that's because my dad is like, oh, I want to stay inside where there's AC, no bugs, and like I was outside digging holes in my backyard.
You want that rugged life?
Yeah, it was. You know what I mean? Like
work for it.
Yeah, like I did live like a pretty rugged lifestyle. I mean, we went out for a week. We lived out in the field. I know some people in the military are listening. Oh my God, a week? That's not bad. Which is not. But like for like a 19-year-old kid who's never done that before, it was like, damn,
that's crazy.
Okay. And like it's just like flies all around you. I swear, every 15 seconds.
And was this in Georgia? When
this is in Georgia, and then we did a week. Yeah, we did a week outside in Camp Grayling too. Okay. Over last summer or this summer.
So they don't allow drugs or tobacco, but do you get any time to have any beers or anything when you're at basic training?
Allow. Oh yeah, no tobacco at basic training, no alcohol. Dude, I was straight sober.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm asking.
The whole 15 weeks.
15 weeks, I was straight sober.
Wow.
Dude. No tobacco, no cigarettes. Like we had my buddy Jack Palick. Like one day we're like waiting outside for chow, and like this staff sergeant comes up. That's like a E6 staff sergeant, and it's like a decent rank, and he's like, "Where's Palick?" Turns out that's his like long lost uncle or some shit. So like for like the rest of basic training, his uncle was like giving us chew. And, he's like sneak chew. And then I'd come up to Palick at night, like after like the lights are out, I'd be like, yo, can I get a chew? And like he'd give me one. I'd go in the bathroom and I just spit into the toilet and flush it. Yeah, man. We'd roll dice in the bathroom. Like,
my God.
Oh yeah, dude. My buddy Peterson is one of my best friends from basic. He's this black kid from the south side of Chicago, and he made dice out of these rubber things, and we'd be playing, and he would take all my freaking money, and I'd be sitting there. I don't know. I'm a white guy. Like I don't know how to play this shit. You know what I mean? Shooting dice is not what I do. And we're playing, and I'm like, all right, dude. Like I don't think I want to play anymore. And he'd be like, nah, man, scared money. So I'd throw another $1 down, and I'd win some back, and then I'd lose it all again. Like.
Well, if he made the dice, he probably cut it so he knew what numbers were going to land on more.
Dude, he made like $2,000 out of like everybody from our company. Like a box of Nutri-Grain bars in basic training is $20.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and we knew where they were at, and so I mean like they knew. I would never be a part of this. I was too afraid. But they would go in there and take boxes and there's just this closet full of like stacked to the ceiling full of Nutri-Grain bars.
Jeez. And so do you stay in touch with these guys pretty well?
I mean, it's just like
as best as you can.
I got a couple of them on Xbox, and like I have them all on social media, like the ones I liked.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some kids I absolutely hated at that because they were just dumbasses. Like they would ruin it for everybody. They made my life harder.
Totally.
Right.
So I was a dick at basic training, dude. Like I know you guys like it was like no, like it was no bullshit, like balls to the wall the entire time with me. Like I took it pretty seriously,
What
should?
Yeah.
I mean,
what gives you that fire about it? What is that tenacity that comes? Where does that come from?
I don't know.
Just wanting to serve so bad and really like do your best in that sort of route.
Yeah, and it's just
trying to better, because personally, like, I'm not trying to say that I wouldn't go military, because if duty calls, duty calls.
Right, exactly.
But I don't know if I would have that fire when I get there. I would be dying to do it, and I guess I'm trying to better understand what gives you that fire. Is there anything in particular? Or?
I mean, I don't know. I just always I guess it's just something I was born with. Like,
yeah, no, that's fair.
I remember like when I was, like I said, back when I was younger, like the first time I ever like heard of like what a soldier was, it was in one. You remember those eyewitness books? Like eyewitness history books where they had lots of pictures and like little words, so it was kind of interesting. Yeah. I was like watching. I was reading. My buddy handed one about World War I, and I was reading it. I was reading about the doughboys, and that was like American soldiers, and it was just like, that's it. Like that's what I want to do.
You want to be a doughboy?
That's
cool. Doughboy cash out.
I like that.
So yeah, I mean, it's just something, and like plus like. I love our history. Like, I love U.S. history, and I take great pride in it, and I just want to make sure that it's going to stay. You know what I mean? Like,
you're taking part in it in that way. If you think about it.
If
you're called, you know, you already are a part of it. But
I would love to. I mean, if they need me, I'd go to Afghanistan if they absolutely needed it. I mean, I really don't have much else going on here. Like, you know, like.
And so, do you end up not liking any other parts of, like, do you not like a Marine? Do you not like a...
Yeah, is there like a rivalry between...
Is there any sort of that?
Oh, there's a big rivalry. Like, we say, like, people in the Army, like, they'll say... Like, even, like, with, like, there's a rivalry between active duty guys in the Army and reserve guys. Like, at basic training, they called me a nasty girl because I was in the National Guard. So they all call us nasty girls.
That's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
No. I guess I didn't mean to interrupt. You said an active guard and a
active duty and reserve.
Duty. And so reserve duty is you're teaching more?
No, reserve is what Tim's doing.
You were reserve.
On call, right?
I'm a reservist, yeah. So like I'm ready to. I don't live that life. I can still have a career, but say like there's a huge war breaks out and they need guys.
You're one of the first they call, right?
Yeah.
Is that basically what that
pretty
means?
Much, yeah. I mean, not like obviously they call active duty up first, and like if they needed more, they'd call us up.
Okay.
But I mean, reserve units, especially in Iraq and Afghanistan, they were getting called up just as much.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, so we definitely in my unit saw. I wasn't there, but we saw a couple deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, and we got all the names of the guys we lost on the wall. It's sad. Apparently, from what I heard, we got messed up over there, but
jeez,
I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Insane.
But
and when do you turn? Because right now you're reserve. When do you turn into active duty if that's where you want to go?
I have. So I was enlisted in 15. I had 6 years. So I'm 2021.
Okay.
So I still got about 4 more years left.
And then once you're active, are you sent over to wherever they need you?
Yeah, I could go to Korea, Germany, Hawaii. Like.
Do you have any sort of preference?
Oh man, Hawaii. Okay. Hawaii, why not? A couple guys I know, like, a couple guys in my platoon got sent to Hawaii, and all their posts is just they're living the dream.
Jeez.
Jungle warfare.
Wow. That's incredible.
So when you're active duty, then your profession will just be you're a soldier, right? That's
you eat, live, and breathe.
Gotcha.
It, dude. Like,
wow.
That's every day. Obviously, you have time off Sunday, the weekends.
Yeah.
When you're like at home and stuff like that.
Yeah. But your 9 to 5 is on the Army.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's interesting. And I remember like the third or fourth day I was there, I was kind of like. Or not the third or fourth day, like the third or fourth week I was there, I was kind of getting used to like always getting messed up, like always having to do push-ups. Like I was getting used to it, and I was like, damn, like I wish I went active duty. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's not like hard 100% of the time. You know what I mean?
No,
There's that downtime, and the first 3 weeks I was at basic. We didn't get any letters or anything. Like they wouldn't allow any mail, and that was tough. And we had like a countdown on the board.
And you don't have your phones or anything. You're not talking to anybody.
No, dude. I had no idea what was going on in the world. Like,
that's crazy.
We had
pretty wild.
We had a couple bombings when I was over there, or when I was over there. When I was there,
when you were gone.
And when I was gone, and a couple shootings, and like we only heard like bits and pieces of information, and
dang, that's intense.
That was like one of the things that was like bad, like made like probably the worst part for me is because like I like staying informed, like I like watching the news and like talking politics, and and I didn't know, and I'd like write my dad like send me some articles, something I could read. Yeah. And I also told him send me like I gave him a list of songs that I wanted, like lyrics of the songs, because I started forgetting the lyrics. It's like my favorite songs, and I was like,
that's
weird.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So and then
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and I would have my dad. Dude, I had like a pile that big, like that I bound up, and that I had full of music, and like, and when I read it to myself in my head, I could like hear the music and stuff like that. So it was kind of like
tripping out.
It's almost like you're listening.
Yeah, it was cool.
Dang.
I don't know.
Jeez.
What?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, D.
No, one thing I had written down. It's just completely in left field, but. Favorite war movie? Do you have a favorite war movie, Tim?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, too many to count.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
I think what's your guys' like favorite war to watch? Right, let's just start off with that. I think mine's Vietnam.
Just all the jungle warfare is badass.
Yeah.
You like Forrest Gump?
Oh yeah, Forrest Gump. That was awesome. Yeah. We were soldiers. Did you guys watch The Post?
No,
that's
new, right?
That's new. Yeah, I watched it last night, and yeah, it was pretty good. But the beginning of it's like in Vietnam.
And what's the basis of that movie again?
It's about the Pentagon Papers.
Yes, yeah, okay. I heard that was incredible, actually.
Dude, it was so good, and it's like it's just awful to think that like we didn't like the whole reason like the Vietnam War was went on so long is because basically we didn't want to admit that we lost.
Right.
And, Pentagon Papers outlined that. And it outlined how we could have stayed out of Vietnam. And it started from Kennedy all the way up. Or it started all the way back to with Truman. Because we'd been in Vietnam since the 50s.
Yeah.
And I think if I could fight in one war, I'd choose Vietnam.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Everybody says. I just think it's like... And obviously, like, some people are going to listen and think I'm stupid and stuff like that, but it's just so interesting.
Well, everybody has
such a controversial war, and like all the stuff that was going on. Like, you guys ever read the book? There's a great book called Dispatches by Michael Herr. Michael Herr was like this American writer for like Vogue magazine or some weird magazine that sent him over there, and he really captures the insanity of that war. Like,
shit was crazy.
Oh man,
so many people died.
I heard from my lieutenant, the average life expectancy of an officer in Vietnam was 1 day.
Jeez.
Like,
are you serious?
Yeah, 1 day. Infantry officer was 1 day.
Holy mackerel!
Wow.
And that war messed people up mentally.
Oh yeah.
Equally, right, with physically, right. People came back with some terrible PTSD.
Oh yeah, and not only that, the way that we treated our soldiers was absolutely horrible. And I think that because of that, the reason that soldiers get so much like respect and admiration today is because of that. Because like we realized like it wasn't their fault. Like they were
following orders.
Yeah, they were just following orders. You know what I mean? Like it's the politicians' faults that got us into that mess. But honestly, to answer your question, I think Full Metal Jacket.
Never even heard of that.
No, I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
No, you guys gotta watch that tonight. It is crazy. It's about a Vietnam War reporter in the Marine Corps, and just dude, like it follows him from Marine Corps basic training. Some crazy shit happens there, and then like Vietnam and just all this crazy stuff. And like there's a scene in that movie because Michael Herr helped write that movie, where like there's a lot of scenes that in his book that he wrote before that movie came out, there are scenes in.
Jeez.
Like.
Taken directly almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, taken literally directly from the book. Yeah, there's some like real scenes in there.
Damn.
I feel like that's a classic. I've definitely heard of it before.
Oh man,
but we'll have to give it a watch, no doubt.
Yeah, check it out tonight. Like you guys won't regret it.
Yeah. No, that's very good to know.
What about you?
I don't know. There's a lot. I like Shooter. I don't know if you can consider that a military movie. I like Mark Wahlberg. Or I like Black Hawk Down.
Oh, yeah.
Black Hawk Down is
Hurt
really
Locker's good.
Hurt Locker's
really
awesome. Good. Did you guys ever see The Wall?
No, I don't think I have.
Bro, you guys gotta get up on this, man.
I know we're slacking.
My war movie is
not your forte, not your cup of tea.
I haven't seen that many.
I like a decent
Dude.
I like
Blood Diamond's a war movie. I consider that a war movie.
Oh, that's a great movie.
That is a good movie. But yeah, dude, like The Wall, basically like it's just like it follows a team of 2 guys on a sniper team. And one of them gets shot out in the open, and this other guy's behind this wall, and like he's trying to figure out where the enemy sniper is, and like the enemy sniper like hacks his comms and is like talking to him, and like, oh dude, it's crazy, bro.
Is that on Netflix?
No.
I feel I've seen.
Oh wait, it might be on Netflix.
I just read about that somewhere. That looked good too.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome, bro. It's a great. That's another one you guys got to check out.
Wow.
That sounds sweet.
It's got John Cena in it.
Oh my
I mean, like he doesn't. But don't worry, he's not like only a couple shots. He's just a cameo. You know
Don't worry, it's not all that.
So to bring this full circle, you're going to hopefully become active duty, and how would you like to carry out your days? So you be in this place, living your life and doing different things, and does that end when you're 40 and then maybe you start training, or how do you sort of see your future playing out? If that's even
I see my future. Hopefully, I graduate. I got a couple years left on my contract, so hopefully I'll get it. My degree, and then after that, I don't want to be an officer. I'd rather stay in, like NCO, non-commissioned officer, as a sergeant, just because like. I don't know, like, especially from drill, like, I've seen what the cadets do versus, like, because, like, we got cadets that are, like, kids who enlisted and then contracted with ROTC at their school.
Okay.
So now they're cadets, and now they have, like, they have a different job as if they're different now.
Yeah, right.
And most of the time, those guys are just, like, in the, the range towers, doing comm checks, like, running around. They're RTOs, radio transmission operators, like, it's just not what I want to do. Like, I'd just rather be, like, in the dirt, I guess. You know what I mean?
You sound like you want to fight.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, it's like training for a football game that you never play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Makes
like,
sense.
It's a good metaphor.
Makes sense.
Like, you want to play the football game. Like, this is...
Right.
And, like, everybody's always, like, like, all, like, the colonels, like, all the high officers are like, we joined to kill. Like, everybody joined here to kill. Like...
Jeez.
Dang.
Like... I don't know, but I hope so. Anyways, hopefully, like after my contract's up, I'll go active duty. And
how does that
rise the ranks?
And how does your love life work doing all this thing too? Because you have a girlfriend.
I know, dude. I've been thinking about it too. Like, I don't know. Hopefully, she's gonna have to drop her shit. Like, she's gonna have to follow me. Like, if she loves me, like.
Hey.
Oh, that's great.
My uncle, my uncle told me. My wife, he's like, your aunt told me one time, asked me one time, would you love me if I got fat? And he said, oh, I'd love you, honey, but I sure would miss you. Like,
oh boy. Well, hey, dude, anything else you want to add on about?
Yeah, what's your favorite story you got from your time?
Anything that stands out?
Damn, favorite story. That's a good one. I got too many, man. Like,
or just a crazy
moment. You want like
moment?
a funny, a crazy moment?
I don't know.
All right. One time we were in the Bay, and this is kind of funny. And the drill sergeant had his PTs on too, so like he looked exactly like us. He wasn't wearing his visor belt or his PT belt, and. I'm walking through the Bay and like I'm not really paying attention. I think he's in his office and I brush him with my shoulder. And I just keep walking. I'm just like, whatever, it's just somebody. And all of a sudden I hear, "Private, are you seriously gonna walk through me like that?" And I just turn around, I literally turn around, I'm like, oh, and like
oh my gosh.
He started smoking the shit out of me. you know, per usual. And he's like, he started making me do changing drills. So like, he'd make me change into my full kit, and then he'd make me change into my PT uniforms. He'd give me like 3 minutes to change into full kit, and then like a minute to change into your fucking PTs. And then finally like, I got my whole fucking uniform on, boots, vest, helmet, backpack, assault bag, and like, I'm running circles around the bay, and the whole platoon is just staring at me, laughing at me as I'm doing this shit. I'm like, fuck you. Like, you know, like as I run by and like.
So you'll never make that mistake again.
No, hell no. Dude, I'm not, over drill, like over AT, I was like running around the corner of a Humvee, and I'm like, yo, and I see Staff Sergeant Alexander there, and he just looks at me and he goes, yo, what, motherfucker? And I literally was just like, I apologize. Like, I thought I didn't see your rank. Like,
that's great.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of good. And then like final story, I remember we had this one kid, like the first couple days of like actual basic training when we were with our unit, he tried running away, and.
Whoa.
That's suspect. So we caught him and we brought him back, and the drill sergeant's like, this was like, I think it might have been the first time, might have been the second time we tried, but drill sergeant's like, I need 2 people. I need a fat kid, or I need a skinny kid to run and chase him down. I need a fat kid to sit on him and hold him there. He picked the biggest kid and the smallest kid, like to tag team this kid. Was
gosh.
And are you pretty close to civilization? I mean, where is he running, I guess?
They would tell us. The highway's right there.
Okay.
The drill sergeants would be like, the highway's right there. Fort Benning's not like completely enclosed off by fences. Like,
yeah.
You can just run. And dude, there's a kid.
Oh my god.
Yeah. People can just walk onto the range?
Like, people can just walk on. Yeah, people can just walk on the ranges and
That's
shit
probably
like that.
not very smart to do.
Well, I mean,
outside.
It's such a huge base, though.
Mm-hmm.
It stretches into another state.
Jeez.
Like, that's how big it is. But we had one kid. Final story. I apologize.
No, you're good.
we had Kerr, and this kid was a fuck up. Like I hated him, and he was roster number 301. And I was roster number 303. So I was right next to him all the time. And we'd be sitting there, and we'd be like filing out, like all you'd have to do is turn left. You'd be like, file from the left column left, and he'd be like, it'd be his turn. He'd be like, file from the left column left, and the drill sergeant would be like, what the fuck, like, and so he was always a fuck up, and I was always on his ass. And then one day he refused to train. Like they all made us get in the push-up position, and he's just standing there, and he's like, what's your fucking major malfunction or whatever, like, you know. And he's like, I refuse to train. So he just says, fuck this. And one night he comes up to me and he's like, hey man, do you want to go outside and fill up my camel bag with me? And I'm like, no. And I never saw him again.
Oh my god!
Like, the kid ran away.
Wow.
And like a couple weeks later, we busted open his locker, and there was maps that he had stolen, and he had mapped out where the local airport was, and we had family day, where we had family weekend, the weekend before he ran away, and he used somebody's phone to find out when the last flight was leaving on that day. Jeez. And like, he had cash, and he made it home. And he was posting on Facebook like, "Oh fuck this, like, the army fucked me, like blah blah blah."
Oh my word!
And then we had another kid that ran away, and like a couple months later, he calls the unit, and he's like, "Hey, can I get my stuff back?" And they're like,
gosh.
"Sure, come and get it from us. Like, come on down and get it." Like,
oh man,
dang.
But yeah, good times.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's awesome.
So,
well, hey, dude, it was.
Thanks for being
awesome.
on.
Thank you for having me.
I didn't know anything
it's
about
great having you, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're the man, man.
No, you guys are the man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And do you want to plug your socials? Plug your YouTube even?
All right. Hey, me and my buddies, we got a YouTube account called Double Tap Productions. It's run by me and my boy Billy Woods. He's a great editor, and he's got a lot of talent. You guys should check it out. Double Tap Productions. Just exactly how it sounds.
Mm-hmm. No spaces?
No spaces.
There is spaces.
Yeah, there is spaces. And you can follow me on Twitter at Tim Kohlstedt, or on Instagram at Tim_Kohlstedt. And yeah.
All right, man.
Nice. Awesome. I guess without that, see you next Monday.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
See you later.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.